implementing these particular steps. Okay, let's see that in the very first thing we need to be get take care about. The very first activity previously we have been discussing about the concept of data types and variables. What is the use of this? What is it? Representing with data. First, we'll try to understand that why exactly arrays concept has been provided in Java. I mean, while working this particular Java programming, what exactly the purpose of or the need of this arrays has been introduced. In case of arrays are not available, if arrays concept is not provided in the Java, then how we can handle that particular respective one? As simple as first, we need to be get very clear about why exactly arrays concept has been introduced in Java. Let's see that. Further, we need to take care about in implementing with this particular concept of data types and variables. While working this particular one, as simple, we are taking care about defining with other data. Now assume that we are taking care about in defining with the data that we need to take care about data type and then mentioning the variable and then taking with variable value. Now assume that you are taking care about in defining the subject marks. We used to be get take care about defining the subject marks. In that we are taking with subject 1. For that particular subject 1, we are providing with the marks. How many marks will provide? How many marks? Okay. For your satisfaction, we'll go with 99. Not satisfied, huh? 100 is mandatory, huh? Okay. So one will be taking with subject 1. That will be taking with 99. Okay. Then we are taking care about one more subject that will be taking with subject 2. How many marks? Okay. So we'll go with that particular 36 here. Then we'll be taking with one more variable that will be taking with subject 3 that will be considering the 70. Like this, we need to take care about in defining that particular respective data. Now, see the whole understanding, see the concept here. If we just take care about this particular one, according to our understanding, this is considered as data type. After that, variable. After that, variable value. Okay. Now, see the understanding. According to this particular concept, according to this concept, can I provide 99 comma 80? Well, that statement will be working. If I'm taking with this particular statement, I'm taking the variable. That part is same. But the variable value I have been taking with two values. Nothing but equal symbol. Meaning of equal symbol. What is it? Assigning, assignment operator. I'm trying to assign two values. How many values? Two values. I used to be get take care about at a time. I'm trying to assign two values here. So will this statement will be working or it will give an error? Well, the statement will be working or it will give an error. Why error? Why it will give error? Online students. Now, see that if I'm taking with the reason is, this is we are considered as a variable. According to the Java concept, in one variable, at a time, we can assign nothing but we can store only one value. See the concept, see the understanding. According to the programming, in one variable, at a time, we can assign only one value. We don't have an option to provide two different values at the same time. The statement will give an error. In case, if you want to assign two values, again, you have to take with one more variable and you need to go with one more line of statement. Now, see the whole understanding. To define one variable. We return one line of statement. And then one variable. To define two values, we done with two variables. Subject one variable, subject two, one more variable. And then we got two lines of statement. After that, three values, we are taking care about three variables and three lines of statement. Okay. Continued with the same. If I want to assign 10 values, then I need to take 10 variables and then need to be go with in writing 10 lines of statement. We need to go with in writing 10 lines of statement. So as simple as the whole understanding, according to this particular Java concept, we are already knowing working with data type and variables. What is the use of data types and variables? Representing with the data. Nothing but we are taking care about defining the data. Whenever we are defining the data according to the Java standards, in one variable, we can assign only one value. In one variable, we can assign only one value. Because of that, according to the requirement, if you want to take care about in assigning these particular values to define one value, one variable, one line of statement. To define two values, two variables, two lines of statement. To define three values, three variables, three lines of statement. In case of 10 values, 10 variables, 10 lines of statement. In case of 20 values, 20 values, 20 variables and 20 lines of statement. In case of 50 values, 50 variables and 50 lines of statement. 300 values, 300 variables and 300 lines of statement. That means to just perform a simple activity. Is that we are taking care about writing any major logic here? No, it's not like we are doing any of the major logic. Just we are taking care about in defining the data for the purpose of representing the data or defining the data. We are taking care about in writing more number of lines of code. The whole IT market has been changed. I mean, previously the client expectation is different. Now the client expectation is different. Previously, the client expectation always he was thinking about we need to come up with in writing with more number of lines of code. If you're writing with more number of lines of code, the client has been assuming that we are taking care about in doing the lot of hard work here. But now the whole client expectation has been changed. If you are writing, if you are writing more number of lines of code, the client will assume that you are not doing any of the hard work. In this current market, in this particular current market, always we have to think about in writing or reducing the number of lines of code. Because of that, if we just look into the scenario, just to define this data, you are just taking care about representing with the data. For the purpose of representing with the data, if you are writing with more number of lines of code, which is not like in a more effective. Because of that, to overcome this kind of issue, to get overcome this kind of issue, the Java guys has been came up with the one concept in Java. They have been come up with in introducing with the new concept in Java. What is that concept? What is that concept? Which you will be taking with arrays here. So now you can understand in the very simple way why arrays concept has been introduced in Java. In simple, previously we are taking care about invoking the concept of data types and variables. What is the purpose of data types and variables? What is it? Representing the data. For the purpose of representing the data, we are taking care about in utilizing the concept of data types and variables. Okay. In the initial part, in the initial stages, perfectly okay. But according to the requirement, if you want to define more number of data according to the requirement, if you want to define more number of data, we are getting the problem of writing more number of lines of code. We are taking care about in writing with more number of lines of code, not only writing with more number of lines of code. The one more problem you will be getting with memory issues. What is it? Memory issues. I mean, you are using equal symbol. What is the meaning of equal symbol? What is it? Assigning this value has been assigning to this variable. Assigning is nothing but indirectly the data has been stored in that particular variable. Internally, in the backend, the Java has been taking care about storing this value for this variable. So it will take some memory in your hard disk here. How many variables you define? How many variables you define? For each and every variable, it will take some memory to store that value. There is a concept of heap memory, stack memory, lot of things are there. You are not worried about on that. Just understand in the simple way while working with the Java programming, while representing more number of data, to represent more number of data, we got a problem of writing more number of lines of statement and defining more number of variables. This is the one problem we got. To get overcome this kind of issues, the Java guys already they introduced the concept of arrays here. Here, what exactly we are performing in the 10 lines of statement, what exactly we have been done in the 10 lines of statement, the same activity, what exactly we have been done in the 10 lines of statement, the same activity we can implement in just one line. How many lines? One line. Here we got 10 lines here. What exactly we are doing in the 10 lines of statement, the same activity with the help of arrays concept we can implement in one line here. That is how arrays has been introduced. That is how arrays has been introduced while working with this programming. Because of that, in simple, if I'm taking with the arrays, we can mention that group of similar values or group of similar elements. If I'm taking with the arrays, we can mention that group of similar values or group of similar elements. Now, see that how we can do that, how we can take care about, in defining this particular arrays concept. This is how many lines of statement? 10 lines of statement. The same 10 lines of statement, we are implementing in just one line. See that how we are doing. For that, first we are taking with int data type, regular thing. After that, need to provide array name. You need to provide array name. Need to be get represent that particular array name. To define array, or to represent that particular array, you are taking with square brackets. You are taking care about square brackets. For the purpose of representing that particular array, you are taking with square brackets. Whenever you see that square brackets, that you can consider that has been defined as one particular array. What is the meaning of array? What is the meaning of array? Group of similar elements, or we can take with group of similar values. So what exactly that values are there? You can take care about in defining all the values. You can take care about in defining all the values here. So in simple, here we written how many lines of statement? How many lines of statement? 10 lines of statement. The same activity. How many lines we written? How many lines we written? only one line. So previously, what we have been done in the 10 lines of statement, the same activity we are doing in one line of statement. That is how our arrays concept has been came into the picture. Okay, this is what two concepts here. One is data types and variables, and one is arrays. One is data types and variables. Another one, arrays. Data types and variables representing the data. Arrays concept representing the data. Definition, okay. What is the definition of array? What is the definition of array? Group of similar elements. The definition is okay, but we can say that we can consider that representing the data. Both are representing the data. Data types and variables representing the data. Data types and variables representing the data. Arrays also representing the data. Both are consider that representing the data. Both are consider that representing the data. Then what exactly the difference? In simple, according to your program requirement, according to your program requirement, if you want to represent less number of data, if you want to represent less number of data, less number of values, you can go with data types and variables. If you want to represent more number of data, more number of values, then you can go with arrays concept. See the whole conclusion. Don't be confused about the things. Your simple requirement is you have to take care about representing the data, defining the data, data differentially. While defining the data, you got two options. Either we need to define less data or we need to define more data. If you want to define less data, go with data types and variables. If you want to define more data, then go with arrays. That is what we got taking care about data types and variables, and then taking with arrays concept. Okay, perfectly okay. Now assume that I want to print this value. If I want to print this value, how we can print this value? How we will print that value? Regular thing. System.out.println. Then you will be providing subject of 1 in simple subject 1. By that, this value will be printed. If I want to print this value, system.out.println, you will mention that subject to. So whatever that value you want to be printed, you will be taking care about in writing that particular printf statement. This part we are already knowing. Continued with the same, I'll take care about in applying with same concept. I'll take care about in applying with same concept. I just mentioned system.out.println, and I will be providing that array name. So for this statement, what is the output we can expect? If I'm taking this statement, what is output we can expect? So according to our understanding, we can expect that all the array values need to be printed. Yes or no? So according to our understanding, all these particular array values, need to be printed. As we mentioned that this particular one, all these particular array values need to be printed. But when you write with our actual program, when we are writing our actual program, this statement, this particular statement will be giving an error. This statement will give an error. The reason it will be giving the error. The reason it will be giving an error is this array, if you mention the array name directly, if you mention that array name directly, it cannot understand. It cannot understand that what are all array values need to be printed. Even though directly you provided that array name, it cannot understand that. It cannot understand that what are all the array values need to be printed. Because of that, whenever, because of that, whenever you are working with arrays concept, whenever you are working with this particular arrays concept, you have to take care about, you need to take care about the concept of, what is it? Index. You need to take care about the concept of index. In simple, if I'm taking with the index value, it will start from 0 or 1. Index will start from 0 or 1. 0. 1. Both. None of the above. Index will start from 0 or 1. It will start from 0. Always remember that index will start from 0 and then count will start from 1. Index will start from 0 and the count will be started from 1. So if I'm taking with arrays concept, if I'm taking with arrays, so if I'm taking with this particular arrays concept, whenever you are working with the array, whenever you are working with the array, you have to take care about in utilizing the concept of index here. Assume that if I'm taking the index will start from 0. So for the first value, it will be 0 and then 1 and taking with the 2 and then it will continue up to 9. Just I'm considering like 10 values. I'm just considering like 10 values. Okay. Which it will be taking with, this particular one. For each and every particular value, for each and every particular value, it will take care about, in using that particular concept of index here. So that particular index, it will start from 0. Okay. Now, say the understanding here. Say the understanding. I'll be taking care about in printing with the statement subject of 1. Now, what is output it will print? 99. If I'm given the subject of 1, what is output it will print? What is output it will print? What is it? 36. The meaning, this is an array within a square brackets. You are providing the index value. Don't be confused. Within a square brackets, you are providing the index value. What this array will be doing? It will refer the array. It will understand that index. Array automatically it will understand the index. In the index of 1, it will see that what is the value is available. So in the index of 1, What is the value we got? 36. By that, in the output, it will be taking care about in printing with 36. In the output, it will take care about in having the output of 36. Okay, that. So that we got it. And the same way, I will be taking care about in writing one more printf statement that I will be taking with subject of 9. I will be taking with subject of 9. Now, what is output it will print? What is output it will print? Which I will be taking care about 80. Okay. After that, I'll take care about in writing one more printf statement that I will be taking care about mentioning that subject of 0. Now, what is output it will print? What is output it will print? Which I will be taking care about the output of 99. Now, in the very simple, the whole understanding, whenever you are working with arrays concept, whenever you are working with arrays concept, you are taking with the help of index. You are taking with the help of index here. What exactly the index got provided? According to that particular index, it will understand what is the value need to be printed. Okay. First, we got taking care about representing the array, defining the array. Perfectly okay. Once we define the array, we are taking care about, in printing the values, from array. First, we are defining the array. That part okay. Once we define the array, we are taking care about in printing that array values. To print that array values, first I want to print one value, return one printf statement. Next, I want to print two values, provided two printf statement. After that, I want to print three values, we return with three printf statement. If you want to print 10 values, 10 printf statement. If you want to print 50 values, 50 printf statement. If you want to print 100 values, 100 printf statement. That means again we are coming up with in writing more number of statements. The main objective, the main concept of arrays has been introduced to reduce the number of lines of statement. But while working this arrays concept, while printing, again we came up with in writing with more number of lines of statement. So to reduce that, to overcome that, the Java guys has been came up with one more concept. They came up with in introducing with one more concept. That is what it will be taking with. What is it? What is it? For each. That is how for each loop has been came into the picture. In a very starting days of Java, we got only while loop and then do while and then for loop. After that, step by step, as Java people coming up with adding with the futures, they got added the future of arrays. Once arrays has been introduced in Java, they came up with in coming up with taking with the one more loop that they will be taking with for each concept. I mean, for each loop, has been came into the picture. Be very clear. Be very clear. See the concept. For loop is totally different. For loop is totally different. For each loop is totally different. Not like both are same. Not like both are same. Both are loop only. Meaning of the loop? Meaning of the loop. What is it? Repeated activity. The meaning of the loop, repeated activity. So if I'm taking with the loop, we can say that repeated activity. Both are loop only. Both are loops only, but not like same. See the difference. See the difference. According to the for loop, according to the for loop, whenever you are working with the for loop, see the understanding, see the understanding. Whenever you are working with the for loop, what is the syntax we followed? First, you are taking care about initialization. After that, what is it? Condition. Whenever you are taking care about this particular for loop, first you are taking care about initialization. After that, what is it? Which will be taking with condition. After that, which will be taking with increment and decrement. This is we mentioning that taking with initialization, after that condition, and after that taking with increment or decrement. Okay, this is what you are taking care about in working with the for loop, and then you will be taking care about in printing with the respective statement. You are taking care about in printing with the respective statement. This is for loop which we are already working it. Okay. Now, see the understanding of the for loop. See the understanding of the for loop. Whenever you are taking with initialization, whenever you are taking with initialization, indirectly, can we understand, this is a start value, I mean starting value? Yes or no? If I'm executing this program, if the loop is executed, what is the first value it will print? What is the first value it will print? 10. That is, it is starting with the 10. Indirectly, we are informing to the for loop. We are informing to the for loop what is the starting value. We are informing to the for loop what is the starting value. Okay. If this loop is executed, what is the last value it will print? What is the last value it will print? 20. First value 10. Last value 20. So that means, can we consider that this is an end value? Yes or no? So that particular condition, indirectly, we can say that end value. Now see the understanding. This is your consider that starting value, and this is your considering that ending value. You are clearly informing in the program. You are clearly informing in the program saying that for that particular for loop, you clearly mention what is the start value and what is the end value. Starting value you are providing, ending value you are providing. One you will be taking with start value and one you will be taking with end value. Starting value is provided, ending value is provided. Okay. Now let's come to the conclusion. Assume that, just assume that according to your logic, according to your program logic, you doesn't know, you are not aware of that, you are not aware of that what is the ending value. You are writing one logic. According to that logic, you are not aware of that how many times the loop has to be continued. Is it 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, or 50 times? In simple, what is the last value? You are not aware of that. If you are not aware of that, can we go with the for loop? Assume that you doesn't know ending value. If you doesn't know the ending value, can we go with the for loop? Can we write that for loop? In the same way, you doesn't know what is the starting value. Can we write the for loop? Because according to the for loop, at any cost, you have to initialize it. If you want to initialize it, you need to know what is the starting value. If you doesn't know what is the starting value, can we go with the for loop? No. Now you can understand the whole concept. Previously, you're already knowing while loop and then do while. When we can go with the while loop ఎప్పుడు యూస్ చేయాలి? According to the requirement, or according to your logic, first, if you want to refer the condition as part of your requirement, as part of your logic, it's mandatory that first you have to look into the condition. After that, you want to print the statement. Then you will go with while loop. Or according to your requirement, first you doesn't require to look into any condition. First you want to print the statement. After that you want to go with the condition. Then what you will be using? Do while. That means it's totally depends on your program logic. That is the reason. First you need to be understand that what exactly the program you want to write it. Then you can easily understand what are the concepts need to be used. Best example, you guys are using the mobile. Using or not? In that mobile, how many SIMs you are having? Only one SIM, huh? Two SIMs are there. In that two SIMs, you may heard about prepaid and postpaid. Heard it or not? Prepaid and postpaid. Yes or no, guys? So in the mobile, I mean, that particular SIM, you may have postpaid and prepaid. What is the meaning of prepaid? Meaning of the prepaid, guys? What is the meaning of that? First, you have to recharge your mobile. After that, you need to use it. Without doing the recharge, without having the balance in your mobile, is that you can do that outgoing calls? No. If you try to do also, your friend will be saying balance is not there here, right? So in case of without having the balance, without having that amount, you cannot go with the outgoing. In case of postpaid, meaning of the postpaid, first you will use it, right? Whenever you are taking with the postpaid, first you will use it. After that, you will be paying with the bill. That is what your loop concept here. Whenever you are taking with the postpaid, for the postpaid concept, what is the loop you will apply? What is the loop you will apply? Do while. So because whenever you are taking with the postpaid, first it will print. First it will print the statement. After that it will look into the condition. For prepaid, what is the loop you will apply? For prepaid, what is the loop you will apply? While loop you will apply. Because whenever you are making the call, your loop will executed in your SIM. In your SIM, the loop is there. So that loop will execute. First, it will look into the condition. Balance is available or not. Balance is available. Then it will enter into that loop. The loop will be continued till the time of your balance is there. Once balance is completed, condition fail. Then it will say that again you have to recharge. Yes sir, no guys. So that is how you are coming up with these particular loops concept here. According to the requirement, You need to be get understand that what are all that particular loops need to be used. Now see a simple understanding. If I'm taking the while loop, when you have to go with the while loop ఎప్పుడు use చేయాలి? If the requirement is first we have to take care about condition, then you will go with while loop. When you will go with the do while, if the requirement is first you want to print the statement, then you will go with do while. So in the same way, when you will go with the for loop ఎప్పుడు చేయాలి? If you are aware of that, what is the starting value and what is the ending value? If you are aware of that, what is the starting value, then what is the ending value? Then it will be taking with, for loop. If you are aware of that, what is the starting value, what is the ending value, then you will go with that particular for loop here. So according to that program logic, if you are already aware of that, what is the starting value and what is the ending value, then you will be taking with that particular for loop here. Okay. Now assume that you are not aware of that. You are not aware of that. What is the start value? What is the end value? You are not aware of that. What is the start value? What is the end value? Then you will go with for each loop. That is how for each loop has been came into the picture. Now, in simple, if you are aware of that, what is the start value? What is the end value? Then go with for loop. If you are not aware of that, what is the first value? What is the end value? Then go with for each. That is the simple concept. Then without having start value, without having end value, there is no starting value, there is no ending value. Then how loop is working? If there is no starting value and there is no ending value, then how loop is working? So the loop is working based on values, based on the values you provided or based on the data you provided. Assume that according to the requirement you provided 10 values, then loop will be continued for 10 times here. You provided 100 values, then loop will be continued for 100 times here. Then you provided 300 values, loop will be continued for 300 times here. So that is what you are taking with for each loop. One you are taking the for loop and one you will be taking with for each loop. See the concept? Try to be very clear. Don't be confused at all. Your simple understanding, easy understanding. Assume that you are writing the logic. When you're writing the program, you are aware of that. What is the starting value? What is the ending value? You are already knowing which value need to start it, which value need to end it. Then you will go with for loop. You are not aware of that. What is the start value? What is the end value? Then you will go with for each loop. Then see the whole conclusion. When you will be using the class ఎప్పుడు చేయాలి? When you will use the class to write a program. When you will use the object ఎప్పుడు యూజ్ చేయాలి? In the morning class or evening object. Then when you will use the object to access methods. What kind of methods? Any kind of methods. See the understanding. Try to understand the programming more easy. Just according to the requirement, you guys need to be get comfortable. What is the concept need to be used? ఆ జావాలో ఏ కాన్సెప్ట్ యూజ్ చేయాలి అకార్డింగ్ టు యువర్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ what is the concept I need to use it. If we get that clarity, if we get that understanding, you can play the games with the Java here. So that easy will be there. Just try to understand it. What are all the concept need to be used it. Let's go with this particular while loop. When we have to use while loop? While loop ఎప్పుడు use చేయాలి according to the requirement. First, if you want to go with condition, then you will go with no. If you want to go with the condition, what is the loop you will use it? While loop. Then when you will go with the do while? Do while. First, you want to go with statement according to your requirement rather than condition. First, you want to go with the statement. Then you will go with do while. So after that, we got for loop. When you will be using the for loop? For loop ఎప్పుడు చేయాలి? If you are aware of that, what is the start value, what is the end value, then you will go with for loop. When you will be using for each loop, if you are not aware of that, what is the start value, what is the end value, then you will go with for each loop. So for each loop is working based on values. If 10 values are there, 10 times it will execute. 100 values are there, 100 times it will execute. 300 values are there, 300 times it will execute. So according to the requirement, you need to be get comfortable utilizing it. So let's see that what is the syntax need to be followed. While working with the for each, what exactly the syntax need to be followed. The syntax is very most important. Your recipe is very most important here. Recipe is not done correctly. Laddu is not done correctly here. Laddu is very most important for us here. So for that, syntax is very most important. So whenever you are doing the programming for each and every concept, the syntax is very most important. So for that, for each loop, see the syntax how we are doing. First we are writing with for. When you're writing with the for each loop also, first we are writing with the for. Right. See that. So if I'm taking with the syntax, first we will be writing with the for. After that, as usual, you need to go with data type. You have to take care about in providing with data type. And after that, you need to be provide one variable. You need to provide one variable, but that particular variable we are calling as we are mentioning that temp variable. What is it? Temp variable, temporary variable. So this particular one, after data type, we are providing one variable. Name can be anything, A or B or whatever you are comfortable, whatever the alphabet you remembered. So that I will be mentioning as variable, but this particular variable, we are considering that temp variable, temporary variable. Okay. After that, giving with the colon symbol. It will provide the colon symbol. and then taking with array name. This is he will be mentioning that. This is he will be mentioning that taking with array name here. And after that, he will open that particular loop and then he will be closing that particular loop. He will open that particular loop and then he will take care about in closing that particular loop here. So, and then it will take care about in printing. You will take care about in printing that particular temp variable. Now, see the whole understanding how exactly it is working, how this loop is working. If I'm taking with the loop, how it is working is first it will be taking with the array. Meaning of array? Meaning of array? Group of similar elements or similar values. Now, in this particular array, it will be taking with first value. It will take the first value. That value, it is taking care about in printing. Once it is printed, immediately in the memory, that value will be deleted and again it will be referring with the array taking with the second value, and the second value is assigning to the variable of a. So this a is considered as temp variable, temp variable. First value, it is already deleted. Because of that, in a place of the first value, it will take the second value. Again, second value printed. Again, it will refer the array. Taking the third value, it will print that particular third value. So how many times it has been taking care about? How many times it has been taking care about in referring with the array? Values are there that many times that values will be printed. How many values are there? That many times that particular values will be printed. That is what you will be taking care about. That is what you will be taking care about in working with arrays concept. This is how you will be taking with for each loop. So that you will be taking with while loop and then taking with do while and then for loop and then for each loop along with arrays concept. Now see the understanding. If I'm taking arrays, when we have to use arrays? Arrays ఎప్పుడు యూజ్ చేయాలి? Yeah. If we take the arrays ఎప్పుడు యూజ్ చేయాలి? అమ్మా. If you want to define more number of data, in simple, we have in a concept of data types and variables. When you will go with data types and variables, when you will use it, representing the data, or we can say that defining or representing less number of data according to your requirement. If you want to represent less number of data, then you will go with arrays concept. If you want to represent more number of data, then you will be taking with arrays concept. So don't be confused. Try to be remember when you will go with data types and variables. Data types and variables ఎప్పుడు యూజ్ చేయాలి? To represent less number of data. When we have to use arrays concept? When we have to use arrays concept? To represent more number of data. If you want to represent more number of data, then you have to go with arrays concept. When you will go with for each loop? Yeah. For each loop, ఎప్పుడు చేయాలి? If we are not aware of that start value and end value, in simple, if you are not aware of that, what is the start value, what is the end value, then you will go with for each loop. So when you will go with for loop, when we are aware of that start value and end value, then you will be taking with, this particular for loop. Now you can see that how exactly we can take care about in writing that particular respective program. If you want to write that particular program related to that particular arrays concept, how exactly we can use it, will take care about that particular arrays concept along with this particular for loop that we will be taking with the new and taking care about class. You can provide class name, you can provide class name anything according to your comfortable, according to your comfortable, you can provide any of the class name. Then you will be taking with writing one main method, you will be writing one main method, you will be taking with string aux, need to be get provide that main method. Once you write the main method, I'm taking care about in defining the array. For defining the array, first I'm taking data type. First I'm taking data type representing the array. To represent the array, it's mandatory. You need to provide square brackets. To represent the array, it's mandatory. You need to provide that particular square brackets. After that, what is the definition of array? Definition of array: group of similar elements. You are taking care about group of similar elements. Now, once I'm having the array, from that particular array, I need to take care about in printing all the array values. I need to take care about in printing all that particular array values. For that, we are taking with for each loop. If I'm taking with for each loop, what is the syntax to be followed? First is variable. Data type. First is data type. After that, temp variable. And then taking with the colon. And then taking with array name. And then taking care about and printing that a value. Now, see this particular loop. Did we provided any start value here? Or did we provided any value? No, we have not provided any start value. We have not provided any values. So it will understand that how many values are there. Automatically, it will take care about in printing with all that particular values. Now we can see that if I run this program, what is the first value it will print? What is the first value it will print? Taking with 10. What is the last value it will print? Last value 50. It will take care about in starting with the 10 and continued up to 50. Assume that I'm taking care about in providing 60 and taking with that particular 80. Okay. Now, if I run this program, what is the first value? First value 10. What is the last value? What is the last value? 80. First it will be taking with the 10. First it will be taking with the 10 and taking with last value 80. Okay. So if we just run this program, taking care about first value is 10 and last value is 80. Okay. So we are taking care about in printing with all the values. We are taking care about in printing with all these particular values. Perfectly okay. But now my requirement is I want to print only. I want to print only value of 40. I mean, I want to just print this only one value. From this array, I want to print only one value is 40. So how I can print? If I want to print only 40, how I can print this value? A value print cheyali. So how I can print that value? Using using index. So what is the index of that? 3 or 4? 4. What is the index? 3. Index will start from Amirpet. Not Amirpet. Index will start from 0. Index will start from 0. Index will start from 0. Okay. So now I'll take care about index. What is the index for that? For the value of 40, what is the index? Taking with 3. So I need to take care about in providing that 3. Now we can see that if I just printing, you are able to see that that particular value 40. That means we got an option of taking care about in printing with all the values from array and then taking care about in printing with individual value according to the program requirement. According to the program requirement, we need to take care about in printing with all the values. We need to take care about in printing with all the values, or we need to take care about in printing with that particular one value. So according to the requirement, you have to take care about, you need to take care about in printing with all that particular respective values. So this is how you need to take care about in utilizing or working with this particular arrays concept. According to the program requirement, according to the program requirement, you need to get comfortable in utilizing that particular respective arrays concept. Now, see that if I'm just taking care about this particular program, if I'm just taking care about all the concepts of in Java, what is the first concept hidden? Class. After that, what is it? Method. After that, what is it? Object. After that, what is it? Data types and variables. After that, what is it? Static methods. After that, what is it? Conditions. After that, taking with loops. After that, what is it? Sorry, which will be taking with keywords. After that, which will be taking with arrays concept. So now write with the next heading. Write with the next heading, taking with next level of the program. Write with the next heading. Take with the heading is accepting the values. Accepting the values. Accepting the values in runtime. Accepting the values in runtime. Accepting the values in runtime, or 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 providing the values from keyboard. Providing the values from keyboard. Providing the values from keyboard. See the heading. What is the heading? Accepting putting the values in runtime or providing the values from keyboard. So according to the program requirement, we need to be get comfortable in understanding or in utilizing all that particular required concepts here. Step by step, you need to be get comfortable in understanding or in utilizing that particular required concept. See the understanding. We got class. When you will be using the class? What is it? To write a program. That means according to the Java concept, whenever you want to write the program, we have to take the help of the class. When you will use a method எப்படி செய்யாలి? To perform action. What kind of action? Any kind of action you want to perform, you are taking the method. How many types of method? Two types. What are those? Predefined, user defined. Meaning of predefined? Defined by the language. Meaning of user defined? Defined by the user. Then you got an object. What is the use of object? To access methods. What kind of methods? Any kind of methods. Then we got data types and variables. What is the use of that? To represent the data. Then we got static methods. What is the meaning of static methods? Using the keyword of static. What is the advantage of static methods? Advantage of static methods. Advantage of static methods. No need of to create any object. Advantage of static methods. No need of to create any object. How we can access static methods? How we can access static methods? By using class name. Then we got conditions. What are the conditions we got? If else, else if, nested if. When you are using nested if, in not statement, condition. Statement meaning is different. In a condition, one more condition. Then you will go with nested if. When you will go with else if, more than one condition. When you will go with if else, true and false statement. When you will go with if condition, only true statement. Then you got in a loop. What are the loops you got? What are the loops you got? While loop, do while, for loop, for each. When you will use while loop, first is condition. When you will go with do while, first is statement. When you will go with for loop, if you are aware of that start value, end value, then go with for loop. When you will go with for each, if you are not aware of that, what is the start value and end value, then we got keywords. What are the keywords? Break and continue. Functionality of break keyword. Condition true. Condition true. It will totally. It's not like just exit. Condition is true. It will totally exit from the loop or condition. Condition is true. It will totally exit from the loop or condition. Then we got continue. Functionality of continue. Condition is true. Break the current process and continue from next level. Condition is true, break the current process and continue from next level. That will be taking continue keyword. Then we got arrays concept. Meaning of array? Group of similar elements. When you will use array? When you will use array ఎప్పుడు యూజ్ చేయాలి? To represent more number of data. So if you want to represent more number of data, then you will be taking with this particular arrays concept here. So please try to understand that lot of concepts are there. Don't be worried about all the things. According to the programming, whenever you are practicing the programming, try to understand that what exactly the program you are practicing, why you are using that concept, what is the syntax of that, why you are using that concept. A concept use enti. For that concept, what is the syntax? Just try to understand these two very easily. You can get comfortable in programming. So by tomorrow session, you guys need to be get more comfortable with the programming. I'll discuss about all the programming standards like Java developer or Selenium or tester, anyone working with the programming, how easy we can make the programming, how easy we can make the programming, what are the standards need to be followed. That I will be taking the tomorrow concept. And after that, we need to take care about still some more concepts are there. Let it comfortable all these things. Our main target to write the Selenium program. Main target to write the Selenium program. To get comfortable with the Selenium program, at any cost, you have to take care about all these things here. So please look into the practice, get it comfortable with all the syntaxes. Then only we can easily write the Selenium program. I'm clearly saying that if you are not practicing these program, these syntaxes, your Selenium 100% it will become difficult. So please take care about practicing all these concepts. It's not like just practicing only programs I got explained. According to your time availability, whatever the concepts I'm discussing, related to that concept, try to take connected programs also, then you will get more comfortable. Okay, please look into the practice, take care about the practice. Carry on. Thank you.